Hello, and welcome to Spotlight on What's Next 2026, week 28. Today we're talking about from intelligent resilience to learning enterprises, turning continuous learning into sustainable strategic advantage. This is Dr. Rhonda Farrell, the CEO of Global Innovation Strategies. And in week 28, we're addressing the next defining leadership question. Once organizations continuously learn, how do they ensure that learning compounds into lasting strategic advantage? Because in 2026, resilience is becoming foundational, adaptability is becoming expected, AI is becoming ubiquitous, knowledge is becoming a strategic asset, and organizations must now become learning enterprises. The emerging leadership reality is that learning is becoming strategic infrastructure across all industry segments. One reality is becoming increasingly apparent. Artificial intelligence is rapidly becoming accessible to nearly every organization. Cloud platforms continue to expand. AI co-pilots are entering daily work. Autonomous agents are beginning to execute increasingly complex tasks. Technology itself is no longer the differentiator. The organizations that are creating sustained advantage are learning how to continuously improve while their competitors continue implementing tools. The leadership question has shifted. It is no longer how do we deploy AI, nor is it how do we become more resilient. The defining question has become how do we build an organization that learns faster than change itself? Because every new capability creates another opportunity to learn or another opportunity to fall behind. So the leadership pattern that we're looking at is historically organizations have invested heavily in technology, infrastructure, workforce skills, operational efficiency, governance, and performance management. And while these investments remain essential, tomorrow's highest performing organizations will possess something even more valuable. They will continuously transform experience into knowledge, knowledge into capability, capability into better decisions, and better decisions into sustainable advantage. Because learning is no longer simply a training activity, it is becoming an enterprise operating capability. And the next leadership shift high performing leaders are making is another one of these important transitions from developing people to designing organizations that continuously learn. They understand that sustainable performance depends much more upon than periodic training. It depends upon creating systems that continuously capture knowledge, share expertise, improve decision quality, and accelerate organizational adaptation. The future belongs to organizations that intentionally engineer learning into the rhythm of work itself. So there are four learning enterprise moves we're going to talk today about. Institutionalizing organizational learning. We need to move beyond traditional lessons learned and capture decision rationale, successful experiments, failed assumptions, implementation playbooks, reusable workflows, communities of practice, AI-assisted knowledge capture, and institutional memory. We need to build knowledge repositories that survive leadership transitions and continuously strengthen organizational capability, because organizations that remember outperform organizations that repeatedly relearn. Number two, accelerate learning velocity. We need to reduce the time between observation, insight, experimentation, implementation, measurement, and refinement. Shorter learning cycles allow organizations to respond more effectively to emerging technologies, evolving missions, changing customer expectations, and new operational limits. Learning velocity increasingly becomes strategic velocity because the fastest learning organizations increasingly become the fastest improving organizations. Number three, design human AI learning ecosystems. Artificial intelligence should not simply automate work. It should help organizations continuously improve. Build environments where people teach AI, AI assists people, knowledge compounds Expertise is preserved, organizational memory expands, and human judgment remains central. Successful organizations recognize that AI becomes more valuable as organizational knowledge improves, and organizational knowledge becomes stronger when AI accelerates learning. Because human expertise and artificial intelligence should continuously strengthen one another. So we need to lead through curiosity. Tomorrow's executives will increasingly be evaluated not by how many answers they possess, but by the quality of questions they inspire their organizations to ask. High-performing leaders cultivate cultures that encourage curiosity, experimentation, responsible innovation, systems thinking, critical thinking, psychological safety, continuous improvement, because curiosity fuels learning. Learning fuels innovation. Innovation fuels long-term advantage. Why this matters now is because organizations everywhere are simultaneously navigating artificial intelligence, agentic AI, autonomous systems, workforce transformation, cybersecurity, cognitive security, digital government, increasing stakeholder expectations, knowledge loss through retirements, rapid regulatory evaluation or evolution. The organizations leading the next decade will not necessarily possess the largest AI investments, the biggest budgets, or the most sophisticated technologies. They will possess the greatest ability to transform experience into institutional capability, and institutional capability into sustained competitive advantage. As AI automates routine work, preserving organizational knowledge becomes increasingly important. Leaders must intentionally capture expert judgment, lessons learned, playbooks, decision rationale, and human expertise so future generations inherit organizational wisdom, not simply automated processes. Learning is no longer simply about developing employees, it is about developing enterprises. So our week 28 reflection is to ask yourself and about your organization, are you investing as much in learning systems as technology systems? What knowledge would disappear if key employees retired tomorrow? How quickly do lessons learned become standard practice? Are we building organizational memory or depending upon individual memory? Does AI strengthen our learning capability or simply increase our speed? What capabilities will distinguish us when every organization has access to similar AI technologies? These are not workforce development questions. They are learning enterprise signals. So our week 28 action is to identify one critical process within your organization, then ask, what have we learned during the past year that is not yet documented? What knowledge should become a reusable playbook? Which experts should mentor others before their experience is lost? How could AI help preserve and distribute institutional knowledge? What one improvement would allow this capability to continuously strengthen over time? Now take one action this week that transforms individual knowledge into organizational capability, because every lesson captured today becomes tomorrow's competitive advantage. Our challenge for this week, again, is to challenge your leadership team with one question. If every competitor acquired the same AI capabilities tomorrow, what would make your organization continue to outperform? If the answer is your people, your culture, your leadership, and your ability to learn faster than everyone else, you're investing in the one competitive advantage that technology alone can never replicate. Again, this is Dr. Rhonda Farrell, the CEO of Global Innovation Strategies, wrapping up week 28 of Spotlight on What's Next 2026, from intelligence resilience to learning enterprises, turning continuous learning into sustainable strategic advantage.